Hello. What is up, guys? Good to be here. Let's see, we got King Shadow. Got SquarePants in here. Lucius, what's up? He says, something to watch while on the train traveling back from London. Oh, shit, man. That's cool. We got, Diamond Rattler in here. Quentin Bauer, fellow YouTube member in the house. What's up? Good to see you, man. Christine, what is up? Masai, what is going on? So, yeah, today's just gonna be like a hangout stream. Anybody has like questions or anything like that, I'll pretty much just answer. And I was gonna get into some gameplay, and I'm playing an actual game today, but I'm in the process of setting everything up through OBS. Because for you that don't know or know, I'm pretty much just moving everything from Streamlabs over to OBS because I've had it with Streamlabs. And I also reset my PC and everything, like to factory, while backing up, what I needed to back up. So I reset that stuff. The past couple days has been just me reinstalling and reconfiguring everything. That's a pain in the ass. But it's, while I get some of that stuff up, I want to make sure this thing doesn't crash on me or anything like that. But, everything's been good, as far as the streaming software crashing, because Streamlabs would have that problem. And I was always kind of on the fence about using Streamlabs, and here's James, using Streamlabs consistently. So this is OBS, Studio, whatever. I don't think it's not classic OBS, but they've pretty much upped this thing to where it can do everything that I need it to. You know what I mean? So. And there's James in the shot. The same guy who leaked the previous showcase dates, says Masai. He says that he has the date for the new. Well, what is it? Is it the 13th or the 4th? I don't even know. And I'm in the Capcom Creators Program. So what's the rumored date? I won't say anything until I know, because I don't want to put false info out there. Not that he's wrong or right. Okay, the 14th. Interesting. Okay. So it'd be 3 o'clock my time, basically. All right. Well, that's essentially kind of what I expected, the 13th or the 14th. So I'm sure that there will be, a live stream from me, and there'll be, a bunch of stuff that will be coming out for RE4 and whatnot. And it's also it's kind of like one of those things where it's going to be the last little most sense. And Juan says he's working on his RE Village review video essay on my secret gaming channel. Also say hi to James. Yes, I will. He's always here. That's cool, man. You're working on a new video. Yeah, definitely let people know when you release that. He uses OBS. I don't stream with camera in the chat, but pretty easy to use. I like it. Yeah, it's pretty good. What's up, Nemesis Biohazard? Welcome. Thanks for being here. And yeah, the OBS itself I've used in the past, and it always kind of seems to work out in that regard. And then using Streamlabs the last couple of years, it's been very spotty. So it's just kind of, you know, again, I apologize. I wanted to actually have some kind of game to play for you today, but I still have to get a lot of that stuff set up. And I'm being surrounded by cats right now, so it is what it is. I can only do so much. Yeah, good to see you. What's up, Leia Rose? Welcome. Any questions? You know, we got 42 people in here and only 13 likes, so let's get those likes up. And obviously, any questions about Resident Evil, you know, survival horror. There's a lot of interesting stuff to talk about. I know Nuji is actually streaming Silent Hill 3 as we speak, so I didn't even mean to clash with his stream, but it's good to be here though. Hopefully he's enjoying the Silent Hill stuff, and that's something I've always wanted to get back to. You know what I mean, as well. You might be seeing that in a Patreon member poll soon, because it almost won. The last poll before Dead Space took the crown there. Lucius asks a good question. He says, how was your response regarding your film? Did it do as good as you hoped, as in views? Yeah, you know, I never really have like a, I guess like a set goal in mind for like how much views I want a particular short film to get. But, I mean, it crushed 1,000 views in a week. And obviously I want to thank you guys for, you know, watching it, checking it out, commenting on there, or subscribing to the film channel, Inocula Productions. I obviously really appreciate that. You know, we worked really hard on this thing. Obviously, it's going to, you know, we're just going to continue to do more with it. And what are you doing, James? Come on. And I obviously want to also have, you know, everyone kind of tuned in over there as well, because that's going to be, you know, the other outlet for like what I do, you know, as it always has been. But it's more now like it's going to be more of a consistent thing. And, you know, I know that obviously there's always like room for improvement. There's always room to kind of take what you learn from each project and move it on to the next. But I didn't necessarily have a set goal, but 1,000 views in less than a week is really cool. You know, that's a really good feeling. And, you know, now it hopefully will just kind of take on, you know, a life of its own in terms of getting out there in the ether of other Halloween films. Nick with the $10 super chat, always supporting the channel, always coming in hot with the super chats. Thanks, Nick, for super chatting. If you want to ask a question or multiple questions, I don't care. You're more than welcome to. Juan says, okay, do you think the Dollhouse in Village is the scariest section of any RE game? No, I definitely don't think Beneviento is personally. I understand why people, you know, thought it was effective, but I didn't really get scared from Village personally. But I guess it depends on what kind of horror you think is scary, you know, and what you think is going to be, you know, effective in that space and for that game. You know, it's just one of those things that I always think that a lot of people look at Beneviento as a highlight, where I kind of saw more of the flaws in the boss fight being really short, and it was just like you stab the doll a few times. The whole house being a puzzle was kind of cool. Thank you, Masai, as well, for the kind words on the short film. Karan says, 2099 says, Anthony, do you think RE Village should have been in third person to begin with, since the first person mode didn't really flow as well between the action and the horror segments? That's interesting, Karan. I think it's one of those things where I know a lot of people thought that the first person obviously worked better in 7 because it had, you know, the VR specifically in mind when developing that, because they knew that they were going to be going in that direction. So a lot of those scares were, from the start, they were pretty much there for the VR. And then when you don't play it in VR, you're kind of lost. And with this one, they're going back and adding VR to it. So I don't know how that's going to be. I don't know how that's going to be, you know, for like how it plays out with the PSVR 2 because obviously the VR one was very early. But it was kind of strange, you know. I don't know. I mean, even so, I think even if it was third person from the start, I think there might have been some more push and pull from the story, you know, for me personally. So that really wouldn't have changed. That's why I know third person mode will be fun and it'll be cool to stream, but I don't think it's going to be like I don't think it's going to be like I don't know. It's not going to change any like major stuff for me as far as like I guess the stuff that I had some problems with Village, you know. But it's okay if people thought certain things were terrifying, you know what I mean? I think that's really cool about horror, you know what I mean, is that it kind of everyone has different fears and different things that go into what scares them and how to get out of those situations, whether it's, you know, a game or a movie or whatever. But I think it's really cool that everyone has their own, you know, scared moment or their scary moments, you know. Let's see. Jesse. James is back there, Jesse. You can't sit there. There you go. I had to pull the chair out for Jesse. Let's see here. Josh Smith says, I know not many people are interested on this, but what do you think of the Resident Evil Showcase? Or when do I think it is? Well, a lot of people are saying the 14th. So we'll stick with that for now until we know for sure, but it could be the 14th. Do you think that there might be a cloud dates on the other Resident Evils? Yeah, I think they might actually announce that, Josh. As long as they put them all out before the end of the year, which it seemed like they were trying to do. And maybe a Resident Evil 4 Remake Collector's Edition would be interesting to see. And to just have that pre-order drop would be cool. Let's see. Damon Vector, what's up? Thanks for coming in. Lucia says, did you see that Microsoft released the Game Pass has created $2.5 billion in revenue, not profit? Yeah, I mean, that's a lot. That's definitely a lot. You know, the Game Pass streaming thing is kind of taking off, and you know, you see a lot of that stuff is going to be, you know, where a lot of the gaming stuff goes. Sony following and everyone else following. So I think it's going to be just making more money. Juan says the entire game felt segmented, but I thought it was terrifying. Yeah, man, that's awesome. That's cool. You dug the horror there. Ty says, do you know when the RA showcase is going to be? I heard maybe the 14th or the 15th. Yeah, 14th is what people are saying, but we don't know. I'm not going to say that's confirmed. Quinn Grimm says, hey, and I think RA Reverse is canceled. Capcom has not said anything about it in a long time. Well, they showed it in the RE showcase in June saying it's still coming. So I think we should definitely see something this month. X Theater says, hope you're doing well, Ant. Took the day off to beat Claire A on OG RE2 this morning. Only took 2.5 hours. Not bad for my first go since last year. That's awesome, X. It's cool you're playing the OG REs for the Halloween spooky season that we have upon us. And yeah, it's awesome. That's kind of what I started to do. Started to play RE2 and 3. I did them on the GameCube recently, last week. Hopefully, Quentin, we get to see that collector's edition, and hopefully we're lucky enough to get one. I agree, man. I'm right there with you. Andrew wants me to talk about Superman 64 remake. Well, there hasn't been news on that yet, but when that day comes, you know, I promise I'll cover it. No. But yeah, I have you guys been playing some Resident Evil for, you know, the Halloween season? Have you ever seen the Sims 4 builds of the RPD? They're on YouTube. Worth a look. They're amazing. I haven't actually dived into Sims. I never was like a Sims person, but I do know that people do some crazy mod work and builds for all the games and franchises out there, and I'll check it out. I always like the mods. Like Left 4 Dead 2 has a lot of mods for Resident Evil, where it's like the whole campaign is like, the first campaign is pretty much like the Spencer Mansion, and then the other campaign is Resident Evil 3. So there's so much to unravel. What's really weird about this, guys, is that like it's just hitting me like the showcase is supposed to be in 4 days, but we still haven't gotten any announcement of when that actually is. And I just thought that that's interesting because it's like we're content creators that have to stream and we have to know when we can stream, but we don't have a date yet, a date and a time. Like, you know what I mean? And that's fine because, like I said, I'll just make my schedule open for it. But it's like, holy shit, I got to see Halloween Ends that day too. It's going to be like a combination. I guess so. I'm just going to have to work and then see the movie and then come back and work some more. Hey, Diva, what's up, brother? $5 super chat is up, bro. Just saying what's up and hope everyone is doing great. Thanks, man. Thanks for the $5 super chat. You and Nick are the two donators here. I appreciate that. And second, I just want to make sure. But yeah, yeah, man. Hope you've been well. Hope you've been doing well on the videos, on your content. And yeah, there's going to be a lot. It is crazy, Dwayne. 4 days to go, and we don't even have a date or a time. So it's so strange, but yeah, I would say people are saying the 14th, but I guess we'll see. It's going to be this week. And I'm checking my Discord too. Like that's what I was doing. I was trying to pull up my Capcom Discord. Yeah, I know some people have a bad feeling about Ends, Halloween Ends, that is, but I guess we'll see, when it comes out, considering I've been staying off of the internet and not looking at social media and not looking up spoilers because all that shit comes out so early now. So I just want to see it. If it sucks, it sucks. If I like it, I like it. I guess we'll see. I'm obviously, as a Halloween fan, I want it to be better than Kills. I didn't hate Kills. I thought Kills had some flaws, but it had some good things about it. I like 2018 better. So if this is more on terms of Halloween 2018, then I'll take it. Goneja says, what is your opinion on survival horror games like Resident Evil? Well, I like Silent Hill. I like, Dead Space. Silent Hill I've only played 1 through 3, but I've never finished 3, but I did like what I played of all of them. I like some of the Alone in the Dark stuff. I haven't played all of them. Evil Within I really enjoy. There's a lot of cool stuff that I think I haven't even scratched the surface on a lot of PS2 related horror games like Fatal Frame and Haunting Grounds and a lot of stuff that I can obviously always stream on the channel and just kind of enjoy, for the first time. Evan says, hey, in terms of Revelations 3, if it ever happens, what would you like to see? Characters, setting? For Rev 3, I think if they're going to bring back Rev 3, I would like to see, or Revelations in general as a spinoff, I would like to see, I don't want to say Jill because I think they should, put Jill in the main game. But it would be cool to see, Barry come back. What's up, Sir Riffs a lot? Fellow YouTube member in the house. What's up, man? They could have Barry back. You could bring Claire back because that opening was kind of just like, open-ended, you know what I mean? Maybe have it set in another, you know, you could have it set on another island or maybe another city. You know, I'm not sure where they could take it, but I would like them to maybe bring back some characters they don't use a lot. I know we've seen Claire a lot and stuff like that. People are saying the 14th riffs a lot, but I'm honestly like really hoping that they say something today, Capcom, because like you got to let people know. If you want people to tune in, you got to let people know. You know, got people heads up. Quentin says the flashbacks and kills are amazing. They nailed the look of the. I agree. I thought that was really the underrated part of that movie. Harley says, "What's up, Anthony? How are you doing today, man? I'm doing good. Doing good. Like I said, I'm still kind of resetting a bunch of stuff on my PC. I did like a clean reset of Windows and everything, and I'm also using OBS now instead of Streamlabs. So I kind of went back, but the OBS Studios has improved, and it seems to be working well. But I just have to set up some other things before I go back into playing something. Yeah, October 14th that's the date right now. It hasn't been officially confirmed, but that makes sense that it's the 14th. Considering it's like, dude, it's this week and we still don't have an announcement on the stream. Like, come on. Give us something. Christine says, how old is Michael now? Like 70? Yeah. Yeah, now he'll be in his 70s. Because he was in his 60s in 2018. And for some reason, this movie does a time jump. But bring back Billy Cohen, says Plasma. Just do it. I know, right? That's another popular request. Quentin is thinking the 17th. Since it's before the DLC. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I'll obviously accept the 14th as being the date for the showcase, but like me being at Capcom Creators and being in their Discord and they haven't announced anything yet, very interesting. So hopefully they just say today, and here it is. It's coming. Harley says, Anthony, instead of cutting content, how about Capcom keeps the enemies and locations while adding in new things like they did in the RE1 remake? Well, it's something that they can obviously do in different ways, I think. I think they can obviously, try to make it to where, you have, you want to make people happy, you know what I mean? So obviously there's that. And I know that RE3 is a very, and justifiably so. Like, I understand why, like, people, I guess, just like will use RE3 as kind of like, that is their reason why they're kind of scared of stuff being cut, Me personally, I see the flaws in RE3 Remake. It's not a perfect remake. It's not my favorite remake, but I did still enjoy it. And obviously I've gone on record saying that many times and having problems with the cut stuff from there. That's no surprise to some people that, they were going to have, like a shift in the team and development, you know what I mean? We know that was happening with RE4, where they switched development to the developers to RE2, who worked on RE2 during the development cycle. I don't know if you guys remember when we were talking about that on here, but yeah, that didn't surprise, people. They were like, okay, maybe this means that they're going to be taking it in a direction where it's going to be, not too different, but they will be remaking it from the ground up, but making choices or changes that, I guess, adjust it for a modern way without, pissing in the Cheerios, you know what I mean? Let's see, Conflict says, if you could add a new weapon to RE4 Remake that fits the aesthetic, what would you choose? For example, the V61 from Village could fit as another SMG alternative to the TMP. Okay, I see what you're saying. I wouldn't mind seeing the I'm trying to think of weapons like in recent Resident Evil. Because Village obviously had the most like precise arsenal, but I honestly would like them to bring in their grenade launcher. Like like I know RE4 has like a different like um, variation of weapons and how they kind of bring that stuff in. But I think a grenade launcher would be really cool. Whether it's the one from Village or a grenade launcher. Christine says, I love the Halloween films. So nostalgic. Oh, yeah. I think we've been watching a lot of horror stuff over here. We were just at a drive-in that was showing Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4 through 6, through Freddy's Dead. And that was really cool, Messiah says, bring back Jake Muller. Enormous missed opportunity if not done right. Yeah, Messiah, but, while they did miss that opportunity, and I agree with you there, I don't think they're going to touch Jake again just because of fans' reception. Well, no, I mean, they announced a trilogy, Joey, so that's why they're making ends. So like, it'll connect with Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, Halloween Ends. Am I happy knowing that the Winter Saga ends in the DLC and it doesn't touch RE9? Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of excited to just get on with a new story. You know what I mean? And I was pretty content with the idea when the DLC seemed like it was going to be kind of finishing off that story, in its own little chapter, and it makes sense for them to kind of just put it out in this one little add-on and be done with it. Yeah, I know, right? Ryan wanted them to kind of point out and announce something on 9/29, given the significance of the RE2 and RE3. Yeah, I know. They didn't really do that. They kind of miss anniversaries a lot. You guys notice that with some things? So, like, people wanted the trilogy remaster on the 25th anniversary, like to bring the old trilogy around, or the 26th anniversary. Then, it'll keep going on. We'll see. But yeah, the 14th is going to be a crazy day between covering Resident Evil and seeing Halloween. So, a lot of stuff there. Do you think RE4 Remake will limit guns? I don't think so. I feel like they have to at least bring a similar arsenal. Sir riffs a lot. Quentin says, piss Cheerios. Yeah, it's like, you don't want to step on the fans' toes too much with removing like a bunch of weapons or a bunch of enemies, but, I definitely want to have that like appealing factor, which Village did have. I like the whole upgrading stuff, going back, customizing stuff, upgrading stuff. Like that obviously was a mirror of RE4, and it worked in Village because, why wouldn't it work? It was definitely more of like a template of where they were going, and we know that. So let's say you have the power to bring Wesker back. How are you doing it? I mean, the best way to bring Wesker back is, I guess just to make it to where, we know that there's Wesker clones, right? So that's probably how you would have to do it. You'd have to say something where, this is the real Wesker, that wasn't the real Wesker. I mean, it's cliche, and while it's been done in the movies to death and the live action stuff, maybe they could make it work to where maybe they didn't kill that Wesker, or maybe he has a different clone. It's like they can easily kind of do that, or they may never go back to Wesker. I honestly don't know how they could make it make sense because it's a lot of mumbo jumbo. You kind of have to, come up with to kind of make it like smoke and mirrors. But I don't know. I'd like to see Wesker back. Who loves breadsticks, says Quentin. Yeah, exactly. Like, we don't need a Wesker clone getting the breadsticks. You know what I mean? We know he has Wesker children. We know about that stuff, right? So maybe there could be something tied in with that if they're not going to bring back Wesker all the way. I think any way they do it, some people will look at it and say, that's ridiculous. We killed him in, the volcano in 5. And then you'll have fans that'll be like, all right, cool, he's back. So it's going to obviously be back and forth, I think. Harley says, just imagine the Silent Hill remake and they cut out most of the enemies and the boss fights because it's not realistic enough. Then it wouldn't be Silent Hill at all. You get me? Yeah, no, exactly. You can't. No, it's not so much realistic. I think they kind of have to know what fans want. And I won't believe the Silent Hill remake is happening until I physically buy it and it's in my console installing. That's kind of, I've gone on record to say that. So I'm not going to be touching that one until it actually comes out, because it could be canceled, like PT was. So Khan says grenade launcher is a good pick. I wouldn't mind if they replaced the mine thrower with that, to be honest. I would prefer no cut content at all, of course. Yeah, the mine thrower I like, but yeah, it's definitely hit or miss for me, quite literally. Best way, would you say he had a long lost Wesker clone named Bert hidden away? Yes, who loves the breadsticks. Hell yeah, Quinn. Great channel, by the way, says Conflakes. One of the best RE channels on YouTube. Past few years and the next few months make it a great time to be a survival horror fan. Yeah, man. The next quarter, I'm fully ready to immerse myself and try to do as much stuff as I can, considering this is my job. And yeah, like I said, I'm just gonna keep it going, and it's try to grow as much as possible. I'd like to get to 20K by the end of the year. You know what I mean? That's a real goal. What's up, Joseph? Joey says, I said the last time the leaks are this last time. The stuff about RE9. Also, speaking of horror games, what is with the leaks of Silent 2 remake? I don't know. I honestly didn't see anything on the RE9 stuff, Joey, or Silent Hill 2. Like I said, take everything with a grain of salt. I haven't been, in that lane on the interwebs. I've been trying to stay off Halloween end spoilers, so. Kenjira says, hi, Anthony. My name is Kenjira, and Kenjira80 on Twitch TV, and I stream a lot of Resident Evil, and I listen to your podcast all night at work. Thank you for keeping me company. I love your content. Oh, thanks, man. Kenjira80. Well, there you go. On Twitch. That's awesome, man. Thanks for, the support and always coming back to listen to the stuff. Got a couple more guests lined up for the podcast, so it will be cool to get that done. I'll be putting out a show this month as well, talking about the Gold Edition, of course. That's going to be the big coverage this month, since we get that. I don't know how I remember that one of the rockets missed him in the volcano. Quinn Grimm. Yeah, I know. A lot of people kept doing that, and they kept slowing it down and seeing if it missed him. They could do something like that, too, where it didn't kill him. Christine says, or plot twist, RE9, Chris is working for Wesker. Yeah, I know, right? Like, we need something crazy like that. Evil Bacon, what's up? Thanks for coming in. A lot of people would like him to return in RE9. My birthday is this month. That's why I am a scary guy. Well, happy early birthday. I know a lot of people have October birthdays, but it's cool to celebrate the horror season. Let's see, Jack says, great to catch the stream, hey, Anthony and folks. Do you think any information or guesses when there will be an RE4 demo? Current rumor is that it will be announced at the upcoming RE event. That's interesting. A demo so soon? I don't know, Jack, if they're going to announce that so soon. I feel like we might get, like, a collector's edition. Sorry. Excuse the yawn. Collector's edition announcement. I don't know if we'll get a demo announcement, because, like, RE3 came out in April, and they put that demo out in, like, March? Right? February, March, if I remember correctly. So I feel like if they were going to announce a demo, it would be a little bit later. But I don't know. I'm expecting, obviously, Village stuff to be announced, or not announced, but shown or showcased, Reverse included, and then a collector's edition, and some gameplay, obviously, like some RE4 gameplay. Another press release on that stuff. Didn't the new Silent Hill movie director confirm the Silent Hill rumors? I don't know. Overlord. I don't know about that. How many times Silent Hill stuff has been confirmed? It's like, I'll believe it when I see it. I know it's supposed to be made by Bloober Team. I know that. But it's just like, again, like, things have been made before and completely canceled, if you catch my drift. So I'm just like, I'll believe it when I see it. Miss Dude says, I think Dino Crisis Remake would be no doubt the survival horror will be survival horror focus. What would you want with a Dino Crisis 2 remake? I think with Dino Crisis 2, if they got it that far, maybe just don't make it arcadey and shooty, like all shooty arcade like, because that's how it is. Like it's all run and gun, chain the combos, run back. Like it's a very like weird. I like it, and I like Dino Crisis 2 a lot actually. When me and John played it a few years ago and beat it and stuff like that, it was cool. It was fun, and it was actually pretty addicting. But I did kind of miss the old school style of the first game. And it had less puzzles, which is cool, and less confusion. But yeah, maybe make it more like that. Mr. Patriot doesn't think Silent Hill 2 is going to get the remake. It looks like something that Kojima doesn't want to do as of now. Yeah, probably not. We already have a 2 remake coming instead of 1. I hope they remake Dino Crisis 1. Yeah, again, I guess we'll see. What's up, RWK, in the chat? What's up, man? And did you play RE8 on easy first? Never asked why. No, I think we did normal. Me and John on the stream, we did normal. And then we progressed on the harder modes. And I did play RE2 Remake on hardcore. Which was a challenge, you know what I mean? But why remake 2? Yeah, I don't know why they're remaking Silent Hill 2 if that's what they are doing. If they're remaking Silent Hill 2. The Dead Space remake does look pretty good, Harley. I'm kind of stoked on it. We'll see. RE1 remake on 30th anniversary, maybe? You never know, RWK. You never know. I mean, I kind of talk about that all the time, like, like them going back and remaking the first one again in the RE engine and with third person and stuff like that. So, but I don't know, because they can obviously continue the remakes and do 5, or they can go back and do 1. Who's to say? But I wish we could have gotten a Taxi Driver game. What are you talking about? Are you going to play Scorn Ant? Looks interesting. So, Jeff Grunn was telling me about that, and it does look interesting. I did look into it. I did look it up. It looks like another survival horror type thing. I might check it out. I don't know. This month, checking stuff out this month, like I said, like I'm going to be really Resident Evil focused this month, obviously, because, yeah, it's horror time. It's spooky time. I know Callisto's not coming out this month, but I will be obviously checking out Callisto in December. Another fellow YouTube member, Scott Wiley, what's up, man? Says, are you prepared for a very real possibility that RE4 Remake isn't good, a la RE3? Well, I think RE3 Remake was good, Scott. You know what I mean? In my opinion. But again, I understand where again, you're coming from and a lot of fans are. Or you can expect that disappointment a little bit, where people are like, you know what, maybe let me keep my hopes, expectations low so I don't get disappointed. And I just want to say that, like, there's nothing wrong with just kind of going in with low expectations and not trying to get your hopes up and be crushed. But I don't really think that they'll mess this up, man. I think they'll actually, I'm going to go in with a positive mindset, because I guess I can't really help it, because I kind of enjoyed, not kind of, but I did enjoy Resident Evil 3 Remake, So I think with that, obviously I don't want stuff cut, but Taxi Driver game could work, so could a Dirty Harry movie. Oh, you mean like an actual, like, Taxi Driver, like Robert De Niro Taxi Driver? That could work. I mean, it'd pretty much be like GTA, right? Dirty Harry, I love both those films are great. But yeah, like, I think I'm just gonna go in with like a positive mindset, and obviously also just know that you don't know what death is. I think I'm just gonna try to go possible with the possibility of like that it could be good, it could be bad, but the original's there. You know what I mean? And I think this team is going to do probably a better job. Most certainly a better job. So let's see here. Well, something nobody considers I brought up before, says Jack, is the Wesker hasn't been shown in the remake canon, and he will be in RE4, so they'll have to try to explain who he is. Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. Is like I wonder if Wesker will make an appearance in RE4, like in a because he did in the original, but it was more like, again, not really. It was more behind the scenes, so now they can kind of bring it more up front again. Like you said, they haven't showed him in the remake canon, and you're right. So, Sora, what's up? Says Callisto and Dead Space remake look amazing. I agree. Alex vs. Evil, what's up? They're not outsourcing RE4 like they did with RE3, so I'm expecting 4 to be a lot better. I agree, Overlord. I agree. Uber driver sim 2022. Exactly, Scott. Kenjira says, I have 2 things I've always wanted to tell you, Anthony. I loathe the Nemesis redesign in RE3, and it definitely could have been better. And Code Veronica needs a remake too. Yeah, I mean, I think the Nemesis original design was going to be more like Type 2 with the tentacles and stuff. But Type 2 being my favorite Nemesis, and them changing it to that dog form was obviously a kick in the balls for me. So yeah, I don't like that. I didn't mind Type 1 as much. The final form was okay, but yeah, I definitely agree with that. And then Code Veronica needs to be remade. I agree. I think it's been long enough. I think most fans wanted to see that before they saw 4, and then now that 4 is kind of happening, they're just kind of going with it. But I don't think Capcom's going to go where the money is with with the remakes, right? And RE4 made a lot of money, made a lot of profit, and it makes sense if they were to do that and just kind of go into that direction. Oh, you're good, Harley. I see what you're saying. Funky Monk says, if we're talking about game adaptations, the Fifth Element would be awesome to play. That would be interesting, especially nowadays, Funky Monk, where all that stuff is more popular than ever, like a lot of the space sci-fi games. Does anyone know if DC Douglas is voicing him again? If he does appear, that's what it was kind of rumored, Christine. So I don't know. You know what I mean? Obviously, I don't know if he's union or non-union. A lot of the actor choices they kind of go with reflects that. So again, we'll see. I like how Dead Space is a literal one shot from start to finish. Yeah, Quentin, there's no load times. There's no it's all seamless like a big ship, and that's really cool. I think that's a really cool thing they're doing with the new technology now. The Alex says, would love to play Operation Javier DLC spinoff game, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, I'm curious how they're going to fill in Operation Javier, Alex, in the remake. Scott says, thought Kenjiro was about to confess his or her love. No, it's all good. Especially since you never joined me in a live chat. Obviously ask away. What are your thoughts about Perfect Dark Reboot and Dorks making a Splinter Cell remake for the modern audience? Splinter Cell needs to come back in a right way. I don't know about a remake, to be honest, but I haven't been a fan of current Ubisoft, Harley. But Perfect Dark I do like. I like Perfect Dark. I like Perfect Dark Zero. But it's been so long, you know what I mean? And a lot of times when they take so long, it's scary. Jack says that's true. And as Messiah said, they've got Wesker gun and RE2 remake, so they have acknowledged his existence. I just think it's weird how RE1 hasn't happened to introduce him to new fans. Yeah, no, I see what you're saying. Yeah, they definitely acknowledge his existence. We see his desk. We see, that connection there. We see that he's still there. They're not completely casting him out. But how we will first see him in this timeline is a very interesting thing. And I got the Itchy Tasty book from Barnes & Noble Saturday, and I got Dawn of the Dead OG coming tomorrow. Oh, sweet, man. You're ready. I haven't read the Itchy Tasty book yet, but I'd like to check that out. Sir Ripsalot says, I think RE Code Veronica is being held back because of the cross-dressing. No, I don't think so, to be honest with you. I kind of talked about this before on the show. But if anything, I mean, I think they can just, if anything, that kind of stuff is more embraced nowadays. You know what I mean? And yeah, they can change lines around and stuff like that. But I feel like if anything, I don't think that's why they're not doing it. I think the real reason is because I think, personally, is back in 2019, me and John talked about this, is they sent out, emails kind of asking our opinions on each game, right? And it was like a survey. And the survey didn't have Code Veronica. It asked about the spinoffs, it asked about the remakes, it asked about, this and that, but Code Veronica was not brought up in that, in that stuff. And so I just don't think they see Code Veronica as very profitable from a business standpoint. Now, this is just me speculating, right? I don't know much about businesses and corporations and stuff like that, only from the outside. What's up, Mr. Din? Thanks for coming in. That rhymed. But I think it's mostly because of a profit thing. Let's see here. They did do a Fifth Element game on PS1. Well, yeah, or if they did, I mean, like a more modern game. Sorg agrees, thinks Code Veronica should be remade. Conflakes wants Outbreak or do Outbreak Volume 3 multiplayer RE2 remake style. That would be awesome. Yeah, a lot of people want that, man. And I think that's something that's more possible than a Code Veronica remake even at this point, considering they need an online type, like the online thing has been obviously so much better and obviously it works better now. So and having all of those assets and resources already from 2 and 3 remake, that's like one of those things where it's just easy. It's like a no-brainer. So I guess we'll see. Let's see here. What's up, Wiz? Just got off work. That's cool, man. Scott says Dead Space Remake, Scorn, Callisto are all coming out this year, and it's fucking great. Hope they sell well and inspire devs to put out more horror content. Yeah, man. I mean, I think survival horror always has waves and peaks and valleys, but obviously it's been very successful as of late, so it's always good to see a bunch of stuff come back. And to Damon Vector's question, am I going to play Scorn? Yes, Scorn I should probably play. I don't know when I will be playing it, though. I won't be streaming it on the channel or anything right now, but I like to check it out. I feel we need more paranormal shooters like Fear. Yeah, Fear is pretty good. And I don't know what they're gonna do with that. Kanjira says, I mean, I love Anthony's podcast, but I have to admit I'm confessing my love for his pal Perry. Yes. Yeah, you'll be excited for the upcoming guest then, so, or at least one of them. Scott says, shit, maybe they could do a DLC where you actually play out Wesker's report. That would serve to tie up loose ends with him and give us extra RE4 DLC. That'd be fun. Yeah, I mean, anything to kind of fill in more Wesker because it's been such a while. It's been such a long time. I think they'll definitely have, again, this kind of the new way of introducing Wesker is definitely going to be I think it's a big moment, because it's like you kind of saw the beginning, middle, and end of his character in, the old Resident Evil stuff, and now it's like, okay, how can we do this now? Let's see. I think RE4 Remake will release on the new Switch. RWK, yeah, that's very possible because the new Switch that's coming out is supposed to have the power of, or supposedly, it's supposed to have the power of an Xbox Series S, so it's going to be more powerful. So I wouldn't doubt that. Harley says, I have no problems with remakes, but I miss the days where developers made fresh titles, took risks, and that's why I'm looking forward to Callisto and Scorn. I agree, Harley. I was just going to say the same thing. Like, Callisto and Scorn they're brand new stuff, so it's all good. Apart from video games, what else do you like to see? Apart from video games, what else would you like to see for Resident Evil? Good question. I would say probably maybe like an animated, you know, whether they continue Infinite Darkness or they continue Infinite Darkness or they have another animated film that takes place in the canon. You know what I mean? So I really hope they end up doing that. And then I think you said it regarding why Code Veronica Remake hasn't happened is bang on. It says that they're going straight for RE4. They're clearly looking at the sales to choose remakes. Yeah, man. I mean, that just makes sense. Kenjiro says, have you ever played Tormented Souls? You need to play it. If not, yes. Actually, I played it. I started it late last year and then finished it earlier this year. Kenjiro. I have a playlist on my channel. You can check it out. It's just called Let's Play Tormented Souls, and I went through it in my blind playthrough, basically, because it was my first time playing it, and I figured I would stream it, because that was like the most requested game for me to stream, was Tormented Souls, so last year. So like I think that was like a no-brainer. That one I actually just did on basically just request, and you know, not everybody watched that stream or playthrough, but if you did like it, then you definitely will like the playthrough. At least I hope. I mean, I'm not the best at it, but I think that's what's kind of fun is seeing that. And thank you, Thunders Productions, with the $10 Canadian, brother. Thank you so much, man. Really appreciate that. Scorn comes out this Friday, so there's a lot of shit that's coming out. Christine says, go to my first Comic-Con on Saturday. Any advice? Is it New York Comic-Con by any chance? Because I think that's coming out. Right around the corner, coming out like it's a game. No, but I think that's coming around the corner. My advice would be, if you're going for a day, which day are you going? Saturday. Okay. Busiest day. Most people. The crowds are going to be pretty clustered. Make sure you have water, stay hydrated, give your feet a rest. If you're going to wait in line to meet anybody, just know that Saturday is the busiest day. So the lines are going to be insane. That's why some people go Friday and Sunday to avoid that. But the panels, I would say my advice would be try to look at the panel times, and even they have lines. So, but if there's any panels of developers or YouTube people you like or stuff you want to see, some of that stuff a lot of the times is actually more fun than the generic like vendor stuff, right? But I would say another piece of advice would be to, if you like game hunting, obviously, look at the vendors, see if there is any, cool deals, people that aren't putting up eBay prices. The people that just do eBay prices and don't, they just go on eBay and list it. They don't have actual knowledge of the game. I would avoid. But those are some little tips of just expect the crazy crowd on Saturday. Expect lines to be out the ass long if it's New York Comic Con. If it's a different con, then it's still the same advice kind of applies. Just because it could be a little crazy. I've never been to New York Comic Con personally. I'm close to New York. I'm like 3 hours away. So I always kind of wanted to take a trip down there, or up there rather, because where I'm at in Jersey rather. But I've been to New York City. Okay, it's in the UK. Okay. Don't know how big it is. Going in blind, hoping I can get some cool bits. Okay. So yeah, if it's in the UK, then depending on how big that show is, if that show usually gets like a big crowd, or if you ever heard of like dates selling out for that show, just kind of be aware of that. I know a lot of times Saturday can sell out first a lot of times, so but yeah, definitely be on the lookout, on the hunt for some good collectible goodness, and yeah, just enjoy, you know what I mean? Check out panels, check out if there's people there signing stuff. Obviously that costs money, but like, just see if there's some cool shit there you can check out. Try to make it, make it a day. Get obviously plenty of rest Friday night, and stay hydrated and do it. You know what I mean? Just it's your first Comic-Con, so it's always fun. My first Comic-Con was Wizard World Philly 2012, so that kind of opened me up to that. Let's see. Nick says, when you have guests on, is there a way fan can submit questions for the guests through comments or something on Discord? Yeah, I'm going to start doing that, Nick, especially through Patreon and YouTube members. I can put up a little post on the YouTube membership thing and on Discord. So I'm probably going to do that for like the future shows, Nick. I will definitely take that advice. That is a great thing. Diaz says, best Resident Evil channel right here. Oh, thanks, man. I really appreciate that. We need an anime for Resident Evil. That would be cool, man, because the Cyberpunk anime is kind of dope. And if they did something like that with some good animator teams and really made it really unique, that would be cool. Let's see. Invisible Loop says, I haven't had any luck finding the color vinyl of RE3 yet. Any tips? I have most of the other RE vinyls. Man, it's hard, man. I mean, obviously it's generic, but eBay is the best way. eBay, or if there's anybody that, if you're in a Facebook group or a Discord group that's like, selling stuff, it's hard to find those color. They do reprints though sometimes, man. They did a reprint of the RE2 and Remake ones. And I know some of my friends were kicking themselves because they got the eBay prices, and then they were like, oh, here's the red RE2 again, and here's the blue, remake. So they could do reprints, man. If you look at those prices and you don't like that, I would just wait. It is expensive. Let's see. Misuse is a half-decent live action for once. Yeah, I know, right? Harley says, Anthony, would you agree that it'd be awesome to have another single-player slasher game, kind of like Clock Tower? Yeah, I mean, I know this wasn't like a, The Quarry, I know that was like a more story-driven game that is, obviously different paths and all that stuff. Like, there's a lot of replay value, but I do like stuff like that where it's more single-player focused, you know what I mean? Whether it's a slasher or it's like, Until Dawn, where it's like the Wendigo stuff, you know what I mean? Where it's more like mythic creatures and stuff like that. Thank you, Thunder. Says, no problem. I enjoy supporting the channel. Do you have any info on when the showcase is? Apparently the 14th, Sora. Apparently the 14th, but nothing's been confirmed, but that's the word on the streets. What's up, Liquor Sandwich? Hope you've been well. Friday seems like a weird day for an RE showcase. I know, but I guess that's what they're doing. Sir Rifsalot says, where I'm at, we have a super small rural area Comic-Con. Well, that's kind of cool, though. Some of those cons are more low-key, but again, trying to find stuff is harder, in the small ones. Kenjira says, I'm new to Discord and cannot find your LTRE channel on there. I like to join. I sign up for Twitch and a discussion. How do I find it? Well, click the link down below in the description for the Discord invite. If not, I'll just post it in the chat here. 1 second, just so it's updated here and you can join on there. And then you can obviously personal message me or whatever anytime. I always try to reply to everyone. And what is this here? Boom. This is the invite link here. Boom. There you go. There's the Discord link. Click that and you'll join. Let's see. Yeah, the Castlevania anime was dope from what I saw. Anyone go to AwesomeCon in DC? I've never been. I've been to DC. I've never gone to AwesomeCon, Scott. Christine says, thanks, Ant. We'll let you know how it goes on your next live stream. Hell yeah. Yeah, definitely. Have a good time. It's always it's always good to go to shows, like go to Comic Cons like that, like I said, because that's when you can find some of the unique stuff. Let's see. Scott says, I went a few years back. They had some amazing stuff going. Wise grabbed RE1 OG in Japan, or the Japanese edition, not in Japan, for $20. Yeah, that's not bad, man. Favorite director of all time? Probably John Carpenter. I would say, yeah, John Carpenter is probably up there. Martin Scorsese, David Fincher, George Romero, just to name a few. Tom Holland, you know. So yeah, there's a lot. Onimusha, you think will be a good or will get a remake? Onimusha is an awesome game. Number one, so I think that's a game that, like, if they were gonna remake that, they'd have to do it really well. You know, but I think that could get a remake. I don't know when we'll get it though, but Harley says it'd be cool if we got a cyberpunk like open world game where it's Days Gone, but it said zombies and they're killers, the killer cyborgs and robots. Hey man, I mean there's gonna be a bunch of open world stuff, you know, going forward, I think, especially a lot of the sci-fi space element stuff. But I know Days Gone kind of messed with that survival horror element with open world. So hopefully we'll just see more and more stuff like that as they kind of redefine it. Cool. Kenjira got it. Got the link. Awesome. X Theater is playing Leon B right now. Let's go. Hell yeah, X. Play the OGs. Let's see here. Sir Ripsla says, off topic of RE, but no problem, man. Do you play guitar and you own any? If so, what type? So I own a acoustic guitar, and then I have a Les Paul guitar. And it's you know, I love playing. You know, I definitely have fallen off heavy a lot more than I would have liked in recent years, you know what I mean? I just got to get back on it and play. But I do like to play. I'm not very good, you know what I mean? I can play okay, but I'm not like, you know, I can't learn by ear or anything like that. I got to look at tabs and stuff like that. But I like playing. I want to get back into it. And those are the two things that I have. And then I have like a Line 6 amp or right over here. So, let's see here. I heard the Thing video game was a pretty good for a tie-in of the movie. I actually like that. I actually like the Thing game. Let's see. Liquor Sandwich is doing my S rank on Inferno right now, and then I get my platinum. Infinite Rocket Launcher slaps. Oh hell yeah, man! There you go. See, you're already close to your platinum already. I like that. Spielberg has a varied body of work, but I think this makes Home one of the GOATs. Saving Private Ryan is one of the most intense movies ever. Then he makes stuff like E.T. Well, that's true. I like diversity in that, you know what I mean? And like, again, how they can make that work very well. And I agree, I love Saving Private Ryan. And E.T. I like it all. Dying Light's a solid open world survival horror game. I didn't mind it, Nick. I just never really finished it back in the day. I did play Dying Light for a little bit, played it co-op. Never really played it. Banana says, blink 3 times if lizard people are making you do this. No. No, they're not. Takashi is directing an Onimusha anime on Netflix. Oh, wow. I didn't even know that, Pizza Face. That's pretty cool. I do like Quentin Tarantino as well. Yes, I love Quentin Tarantino. The Bonnie and Clyde. How do you feel about a Bonnie and Clyde game? Well, that's kind of what we're getting supposedly, allegedly, that's what we're getting in the next Grand Theft Auto title, is a Bonnie and Clyde type game. But if they made one that isn't Grand Theft Auto, that would be cool too. But I don't think we'll get a demo this month, Son Goku. I think the showcase is going to be the 14th, though, on Friday. I should keep saying Friday because it's already Monday. It's Friday. Capcom Showcase Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, apparently. I don't know. Kenjiro says, I'm so proud to be a part of this community. Ari is everything to me, and if it wasn't for it, I would not be talking to you. The game saved me from depression, and today, I am free of it. Well, that's good, man. That's awesome to have you here, and, you know, it's I think games and community and friends and everything can get people through a lot of hard times, and obviously that stuff can still always linger and can always be around the corner. And there's always stuff happening in all of our lives, but it's cool that it can bring everyone together and we can all enjoy, and it can, you know, bring happiness to people. It's definitely done it for, I think, all of us, you know. And that's really good to hear, man. It's good to have you here. And Christine, thank you. You take care, and I'll catch you in the next stream. Have fun at the show on Saturday. The Thing game is actually a sequel to the movie, and it's really good. Yes, it is. I have it on Xbox, right back here somewhere. Stanley Kubrick I like. There's a lot. I love Stanley Kubrick as well, Nick. There's a lot. Speaking of music, I thought the RE main title theme Marilyn Manson composed was so good. I agree, ACR. I love that theme. That theme is so good for that first movie. The soundtrack's pretty good, too. I did hear about the remake of The Crow. I don't know, Alex Percival. It just seems like why do you have to remake everything? But I'm sure Bill Skarsgård will try to do, you know, justice to it. But check out Itchy the Killer and Blade of the Immortal. They're awesome movies. I'm gonna have to check them out, man. Harley asks if I would like a Watchmen game similar to Batman. Yeah. I mean, I actually really like Watchmen. So, you know, I know that they had The End Is Nigh, which I think it was like a co-op game. But I never played that. And obviously it was like an Xbox Live, you know, arcade game. You know, it was like a smaller game. Sora says, I know it's wishful thinking, but I hope one day Capcom can remaster the original RE games and bring them to the consoles. Yeah, man. That's always been like one of the most, like, I think talked about, you know, things in the community is like having that come back, you know, and bring them back for like a modern audience that, you know, can't run the emulators and they just want to play it on normal consoles, you know what I mean? Turn it on and play it. And I know the director's cut is on, you know, the PlayStation service, but that doesn't really count. Sorry for the yawns. You know, because it's like that's only on PlayStation there, and I know it looks a little bit better, but it obviously isn't a remaster or like a, you know, something that's brought over with the other games. And they still don't have, Sony still doesn't have 2 and 3 on there, which blows my mind. So, I don't know. Juan says, did you see the new Hellraiser? No. I heard mixed things. I heard it's decent, but I haven't checked it out yet. I'm going to have to give it a watch maybe some point this month. What's up, Matt Stewart, fellow YouTube member? If you guys are just coming in here, hit the thumbs up. We already got more likes and views, which is nice, but it's good to see you guys here. Darren Burrows says, hi, Anthony. I'm not a big gamer, but enjoyed your channel. Would love to see you do some horror film reviews and retrospectives, maybe on your other channel. I'm Darren off of the Eurocult podcast. Darren, Eurocult podcast, Dead Pit. What is up, man? It's so good to see you in here, man. I'm a big fan of Dead Pit's work, all the work you guys do, you and Steve, Dana, obviously CK, UB, the whole Dead Pit community has always been awesome and good to me, and it's great to see you in here. I would love to do horror film reviews and retrospectives and stuff like that on Inoculate Productions, which is my film channel. My short film that I put out a week ago at this point, over a week, but almost 2 weeks. But that was kind of going to be the kickoff for, just like the new wave of the channel. Shout out to Quentin Bauer in this chat here. He helped me redesign the logo and everything like that. So yeah, I really want to just I did a Pearl review with my buddy Tyler. That was also kind of like a little test of doing some kind of review. And, but yeah, I would really like to just do that more often and more consistently and kind of make that a part of it, because it keeps it refreshing, Darren, and it really does, kind of breaks up, because that's something I also love. So, like, when you're doing something all the time, day in, day out, like this channel, and playing Resident Evil, it's really cool to, take a break and watch, horror movies or make, movies or discuss different things. And I think that's like me leaning more into that, a year later, trying to, put this film out and like, kind of revamp everything. I would love to. I'd love to have people on. I love to be on, more shows too. Just within that horror space, because I've always wanted to tap into that. So yeah, man, that's my long-winded answer, but that's because I also love what you do, and I love the Eurocult podcast, and I love the knowledge of horror that you guys have, and it's very inspiring. It always has been. Dead Pit inspired me early on, in the early days of YouTube. You know what I mean? So I always am grateful, for just the entity of Dead Pit overall, and yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Dead Pit, that's for sure. You know what I mean? Especially with horror talk radio or podcasts, so to speak, because back then it wasn't even called podcast. But yeah, man, hope you're doing well, man. I know you're in the UK, so hope you're doing well. And yeah, hopefully we can catch up soon on one of these shows. Let's see. We got Harley says we need a new third-person shooter Punisher game with John Bernthal doing the voice. Dude, the Punisher game in 2005, I love that game. Like, that game that's a great game. I wouldn't be opposed to that, man, to be honest. I want the PS2 online games. Never got to play them on Outbreak. Yeah, I mean, that's the easiest way to do that is like, obviously playing it online, is going to be through like the PC emulator and mods. That's probably the best way to do it. Diamond Rattler says, I thought the new Hellraiser was dope. Yeah, I heard some people talking about it in speaking of Dead Pit, the Dead Pit Patreon channel. I was talking to a couple people in there, and they were telling me that it's okay. It's decent, but yeah, I want to check it out. Because I honestly checked out after like Bloodline. I think that's kind of when I checked out of Hellraiser, and I don't know. I never really followed it after that. It just seemed like it fell off course. Let's see here. I would give Capcom a chance to make a definitive edition of the Raccoon Trilogy. Could have the up-res thing Halo remake had, include all the extra stuff for Saturn. Seems like a no-brainer. Yeah, I don't know how they would even go about doing all that, you know what I mean? Or how well they would make all the extras fit, or would they just do, a minimum porting over kind of deal? I think, Scott, like a lot of people like us, we're fans, we're going to buy it anyway. So I think they should just like put it out, and like just, we're going to buy it, and then obviously we'll be the judge to see, which one we like better. What's up, Wes Murdoch? Any word on the ARIA showcase? Will be October 14th, so Friday, Wes. That is apparently the date. But if we hear otherwise, we'll let you know. Liquor Sandwich says, I really hope that we get a Gears remaster collection. Those games deserve it as much as Halo. I agree, man. And I recently played Gears 2, which is in 60 frames now because they updated it in HDR. Like, me and my buddy, we played Horde mode a little bit, me and Brandon, and that was a real cool thing just to play, like a real cool throwback, and it runs pretty fucking smooth with the upgrades. But it would be really cool to see that in like an Ultimate Edition, Gears 2 Ultimate, you know what I mean, Gears 3 Ultimate. I agree, man. Just put them out, you know, because they are supposed to be Microsoft's, you know, part of Microsoft's, you know, ecosystem, and you should just put that fucking thing out, you know. Where am I? Did you like the Joker movie? Says Harley. I did like it, actually. A Mr. Freeze solo movie. I don't really care about Mr. Freeze that much, but I did like the Joker film, and if they made a sequel to that, I'd probably be there day one, you know. I'm excited for Halloween Ends, Sora. I definitely am. You know, I'm just gonna go in with no expectations. Gears 2 is a masterpiece, Scott. I agree. That's one of the best sequels of all time. In my opinion, I think that's up there with, like, you know, Resident Evil. You know, people say Resident Evil 2 is one of the best sequels of all time. Gears 2 isn't. It's probably not on my top, you know, maybe not my like top 10 sequels of all time, but it's up there. It is up there. Let's see. Juan says acting, story, etc. is meh. Visuals, colors, and quality of the technical arts side is amazing, I thought. Okay. Well, it's awesome to hear everyone's kind of perspective on that. I appreciate that. Kenjiro says, I know Jill is your favorite hero and Nemesis is your favorite game, but who's your favorite antagonist? Well, I always love... I mean, Wesker is like... You know, Wesker's like number one for me. But, you know, I always also... I kind of enjoyed the... like, I don't know. Like, I think with Wesker, I always liked... Obviously, like how more epic they made him, but I also really I always liked Nikolai too, in a weird way, because I always thought Nikolai wasn't like a superhuman guy, you know, later on or anything like that, but he's just a scumbag, and, you know, he's a shitty character, but I always thought that was so fascinating where someone can get so caught up in their own shit that they just start taking out their own team, and like, you know, like, but he was like solo off the grid. Like, he was doing his own mission. So I always liked Nikolai too, even though he was a very short, you know, in his appearance, you know what I mean? Like, he was here and there, and then all of a sudden he's at the end. But it was really cool. That's always something I like. I like Sadler too. I always like Sadler. Let's see. Nihilus says, for Last Raccoon City game, it could be a rescue mission. Jill and Barry, Carlos rescue Chris after Raccoon City got nuked. Well, they could do, you know, I think a Raccoon City game, I think you're going to see a Raccoon City game with not new survivors, but more like Outbreak style. I don't think they'd ever go back and change Raccoon City at this point, because considering they already kind of did that, and they would have, if they were going to do any major changes like that, they probably would have already done it. But I wouldn't be opposed to a new Raccoon City game. They are making a sequel for Joker, but it's going to be a Joker and a Harley movie. Okay. The auto HDR on Xbox is fantastic. Devil May Cry 4 and Max Payne 3 look great. Yeah, man. Why didn't they go back and add the frame boost for Max Payne 3? It does look great, but I wish they did a frame boost for that, man. Unless they did, and I don't know about it. Let me know. But I love that, man. I agree. I love the fact that I can go back and play. I can pop my discs in, and they still work, and they get acknowledged, you know what I mean, in the ecosystem. Let's see here. I was thinking of getting a Steam Deck since getting PC are so expensive. Can you please tell me if the fan-made RA game mods can be played on a Steam Deck, and is it difficult to do? They definitely can be played, Milfman. You can actually run Windows on the Steam Deck. So I would recommend, you know, getting Windows on there, like running that and trying to install that stuff. It shouldn't be that difficult. Invisible Loop says, will the ARA Showcase talk about Reverse? I hope, because people really want an update. You know, I don't think we should be worried. Invisible Loop, they did show a little bit of the gameplay, saying it's still coming out this month, but I know we haven't heard anything as of recent, so we should be okay. It should still come out, We haven't heard anything, so I guess we'll see. There was a rumor that the Joker copycat story with Willem Dafoe as another Joker. I really wish they went with that. Willem Dafoe would be killer. I love Willem Dafoe. Resident Evil 2 is the best game of all time, and its remake. Yeah, I mean, it's so good. I think for the sequels, I think, and even for the remake, I think it just worked out, very well. No, ACR, I don't think so. Would you think a Venom solo game would be awesome? Maybe for like DLC for 2 or something. I don't know if it'd be, Spider-Man 2, that is. I don't know if it being its own game. Liquor Sandwiches, I think they should at least put out the Outbreak games on PS4 and PS5 with the Plus plan. They should. They should, Liquor Sandwich, just to have it. You know what I mean? Again, it's like they have this big-ass library and they refuse to put... Like, Sony just doesn't have that much on their service. Quinn Grimm, what is HDR? HDR is high dynamic range. So that is like pretty much different layers of color that the panel, that 4K panels now can actually project. So all of the colors are a lot more lifelike, they're more realistic looking. You'll see the reflection off of certain colors and stuff like that, and it will be accurate. Skin tones are accurate, like with light reflecting off of it. There's just more color. There's more of a color palette, so a lot of the stuff is more enjoyable, and that is on 4K TVs, which is why, more premium 4K TVs, because some will say they have HDR, but they don't. It's not very good HDR. So. Speaking of bad guys, Jack Baker I instantly love, and I'm glad I gave RE7 a chance. Finally, it's a fantastic entry. Yeah, I know Jack Baker's a fan favorite for a lot of people. He was never really in my top favorites, as most people have known me talking about that on record, but I know that he's, he definitely switched things up for a lot of people and created a lot of good scares, so I definitely respect that. An open world Carnage game, Harley. If they're going to do that, they might as well do a Venom and Carnage game, My favorite Resident Evil collectible, Nick. Damn, that's a good question. Favorite RE collectible? Are you talking about like a game specifically or like an item? Because mine is probably this Nemesis statue that Carlos Cruz gave me. It's probably my favorite. One of my favorites. Let's see. Nope, no frame based on Max Payne 3. Will love if it got a 4K 60 patch. It's one of the best third-person shooters ever made. The physics are insane. I agree, Conflakes. I love Max Payne as a whole. I love 3. No problem, MILFman, for also answering your question. But yeah, I love 3 too. And I'm happy they at least made it backwards compatible so I can play it. And yeah, it was really cool to see that. And Ada is the best antagonist. I love Ada. Yeah, I guess Ada will be an antagonist, right? Ada's up there too. I mean, I love Ada. She always has her own mission as well, always kind of in her own lane, no matter what people tell her. Harley thinks that's Max Payne 3 is one of his favorite third-person shooter games next to Spec Ops The Line. That Spec Ops The Line's another good one. That's another good one. Yep, and it also gives it... Yep, HDR also gives better contrast between light and dark, so it's also great for survival horror. Yep, it definitely improves the darker levels on the TV and stuff like that. And Alex Evil loves Jack Baker. Nick says item. Yeah, I would say this Nemesis statue here. Obviously, I love the... I also have a Nemesis soft statue. I love that thing. Yeah, just a lot of cool stuff. Would you like a Far Cry game set in the Wild West? I'm not too into Far Cry. Like, I like it, Harley, but never really was my thing. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm sure maybe if fans, like, would really enjoy that if they're fans of it. But I think a lot of times, like, again, the open world stuff, there's a lot of them out there. So I think people can take it either way, like whether or not they want to see it in the Wild West or they want to see, medieval one like we talked about before, a medieval one that is what people were talking about. Sorry for being off topic, but I think the most hidden gem, in my opinion, is from Sora. on the classic PlayStation was Soul Reaver. Yes. Don't be sorry, because Soul Reaver is awesome. I love Soul Reaver. Dustin and John love Soul Reaver too, just the Blunt Open series in general. But yeah, Soul Reaver on PS1. Why isn't that on the store? Why can't we download that on the 5? Like, I know it's on, I think it's on PS3 store, but like, we need Soul Reaver on, you know, the PlayStation Classic. Like, why have we only gotten so many games since June? We've only gotten like so many classic games. Soul Reaver is amazing. And I you know, it's funny because I don't remember what drew me to Soul Reaver. I think it was just like the imagery, and I don't even remember how I ended up with the game. I just remember it was just in my collection. I don't think my dad bought it. It definitely might have been a thing where I played the demo and then got the game. But you know, I had that disc, that green disc, and I'll never forget it. You know, and I have it on Dreamcast now. Like, I played it on other consoles where it looks, you know, obviously a lot better than the PS1 version. But that PS1 version always plays a special place in my heart, you know. Let's see here. That was awesome. The shape kills. Michael comes in like, they're trying to save you, huh? Let me fix that real quick. Oh, yeah, Diamond Rattler. You like the shape kills? Well, I'm happy you like the short film, man. Everyone seemed to be really enjoying the short film, so that's really cool, man. I'm happy you like that. Separate ways in RE4 Remake? Matt Stewart, I think so. I think it's safe to say they'd keep some Ada stuff. If they didn't, I would actually be pretty pissed, because I do love Ada and would like to see that. Milfman wants to see Ada get her own game. The women of RE, like Jill, Claire, and Sheva, don't get enough respect from Capcom. I think they put them in the games, but I think it's like they're very, like, they're trying to savor where they place them at this point, and it's like, dude, like I said, Jill's definitely been not used enough. You know, Claire's been used a decent amount, but Sheva was kind of more of like a one-off character. But even with the main, like Jill and Claire, it's like, damn, just use them a little bit more. But even Claire got used in Infinite Darkness. Got, you know, it just get Game Pass, people. PlayStation doesn't care about their classics. They don't right now. I mean, they're not showing it. They're not showing. They haven't for a while. That not even right now. They haven't for a long time, because we waited all last gen for old games. You know what I mean? So it sucks, and that's why you got to keep your old consoles for Sony, because you can't do that. You know what I mean? You can't just play everything in one spot. Code Veronica, Dino Crisis Remake, if you can only have... Oh, okay. If I could only have one? Dino Crisis. I think Dino Crisis. Because I think with, like, the other... Like, no, that doesn't mean I don't want Code Veronica remade, but I want a Dino Crisis remake so bad. You know what I mean? Like, that would be so fucking cool. But, you know, that's if I could only pick one, I would say... Because I like Code Veronica. I've liked it more over the years, but it was never on, like, my top Resident Evil games. But I've grown to like it more and more over the years as I've played it and have, you know, extensively played it. I want to see Ada and Leon finally hook up in the next RE, says Conjura, and close that store. We all know they're in love. It's been obvious for 24 years. Yeah, exactly. It's like, can they just seal the deal already so we could just, you know, so we could just, like, move on with it and just be like, okay, finally. But who knows, man? Who knows? Quinn says he remembers playing the demo of Soul Reaver 1 on Fighting Force on PS1, and the main menu gave me nightmares when I was young. Oh, yeah, that was a very scary load screen and menus. I know that they had the IDOS had those demos on the they also had like an IDOS like demo disc that was just their games on the demo. Like, it was just like a sampler, but it was all their games in demo form that was coming out. Kanjira says Hunk needs his own game, not Ada. I would say, if anything, Ada just should have her own side story, like how it has been in RE4. And then I agree, Hunk would be kind of cool to see, you know, because he's like the mysterious Grim Reaper. Conflict says an RE2 remake style Resident Evil set in the Wild West would be cool. Says lever action rifles, bring back OG zombies. Interesting that they had the concept art for flashbacks in Village set at medieval times. Yeah, Conflict. That's a true story. We saw the concept art for Resident Evil Village. We saw they had that made up, but they didn't really do anything with it. So it would be interesting to see an RE2 remake style Resident Evil game. You know what I mean? Or maybe just like something off, like a one-off. You know what I mean? But even then, it would be very weird within the lore. So I don't know how that would work, but X thinks Exoprime was laying the groundwork for Dino Crisis. I mean, that's true, but we'll see. What's up, John? What's up, brother? I have been meaning to call you back. I was away on the weekend, so I got to give you a call back. What's up, man? Says Crystal Dynamics bought their rights for their IPs back from Square, and recently, myself included, got a questionnaire email from CD on Legacy of Kain, asked about remakes or sequels. Oh shit! So that would be really cool. Blood Omen, Soul Reaver. They need to get Army H. You know, that's the thing, man. I think a lot of times when people see, or these corporations see the other remake train kind of being successful, it's going to bring the rest of it. If you build it, they'll come kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's like you build that remake bridge, and then they see that. That's interesting. They're already sending out the questionnaire for that. I did not know that, but you know what? Now's the time. You know what I mean? If they're going to do it, and especially when we get to a point where you're having consoles that don't need load times, that don't need all this shit now. So, Amy. Okay. Amy. Did I say Amy or not Army? Okay, Army. It says Amy H. Oh, Amy, not Army. Okay. I don't know who said that there, but okay, I got you. Same woman who did the Uncharted, and she did Legacy of Kain. Okay. Yeah, so that's the thing. And I know that, she left Naughty Dog, right? So she got the fuck out of there. So it's time to move on. It's time for people to, bring up shit like that. Sora says the reason why I love Legacy of Kain is because they have such a good writing and lore behind everything. The characters are written amazing, and Amy did a phenomenal job. Yeah, I think the whole thing is like they're really trying to bring this back at a time where the demand is there. You know what I mean? I don't know what they've been doing in the past few years with that, but, we had that. It was called Red Dead Redemption Zombies. Yeah, no, the Undead Nightmares of Red Dead it's probably my favorite DLC ever made for a game. I love the Undead Red Dead. Like, that whole thing was just awesome. Everything about it I loved. I love it. Damn, Harley, that's a very interesting concept. Not sure how they would fit something like that into the timeline, but interesting that Capcom at least flirted with the idea of RE set in the past. Yeah, exactly. It's kind of interesting, especially with the enemy type that they kind of threw at us, Should Nintendo do a remake of Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask? And John says they did on 3DS. Yeah, that's not my territory, so I wouldn't even know if that existed or didn't exist. So, but apparently they did on 3DS, so there you go. Did you hear Sony doing a remaster of the first Horizon Zero Dawn, which literally came out in 2017? I don't understand. Well, you know what? It's I think it's one of those things where it's like, you see Last of Us Part 1 sell well, and then they're going to remake or remaster, you know what I mean? Or whatever they say. They'll call it a remake, but they're calling it Horizon Remake. But they'll charge $75 for these games. And if you buy it, then that enables them to do it again. And if people bought Last of Us Part 1, I didn't, but that enables them to say, oh, we can do this. And what do you know, Matt Stewart? Right when Uncharted comes out, Last of Us Part 1 comes out and it sells really well, what gets announced? The Horizon remaster. Now, if they just make it a free upgrade, which it should be, and shouldn't sell it, all over again, or if they make it for PS5, they should sell it for like $30, $20, you know what I mean? But the game's been out, it's been out. So, and the problem is that if they're going to try to sell it as a remake when it's really just a remaster. So, it's just like, it's just, again, you got to vote with your wallets. You can't give in to this dumb shit. And again, you have a service, Sony. Put it on the service. You just launched this thing in June. Put your games on the service. That's what it's there for. Milfman says, is the S.T. Perry novels that much different from the games? Because I was thinking of getting them also where would it be the best place to get the books? Probably online nowadays. I know bookstores are kind of extinct. Barnes & Noble doesn't sell any Resident Evil shit, unfortunately. But the S.T. Perry novels are actually pretty different. And I mean, they're similar, but they're different, and they're worth that's why they're worth reading. You know what I mean? So, yeah, Undead Nightmares was cool, Kenjira. I love that. That'd be cool. Yeah, you're saying set the days of the discovery of the Stairway to the Sun. Yeah, let's do some crazy shit with it. Make it crazy. Conflict says, if they did another remake of RE1, would you want to see it in first person or third? Maybe both. Spencer Mansion would be perfect for first person. Let us aim down sights like not a hero DLC. I would like to see it in third person personally. But I don't, I think third person is kind of where it needs to be. They could have it optional from the start in terms of first or third. So we don't know now that they're having that option in RE4, in terms of like with the VR support and the non-VR third person. Let's see. John says, I personally don't see anything wrong with them upgrading Horizon's graphics to match Horizon Zero Dawn 2's. But if they charge us, yeah, no thanks. I'll stick to the original release. Oh, of course they'll charge you because they know that they're going to try to get it. And they'll probably try to charge people. You know what I mean? Sony has been out of it for a while. Missed the old Sony and can't believe they shut down their Japanese studio too. Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on. I couldn't even tell you anymore. It's like we're in a dystopian, like, console world. Like, I don't even know what's going on anymore. I suppose in part of the problem is because I did buy The Last of Us Remake and completely regret it. Well, again, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Sometimes you spend money on something and you're like, yeah, it really wasn't worth it. Or you try to justify it sometimes, but I was trying to just tell people, it was interesting to see like where it goes, but 100% worth reading, and they are very different. It's like a comic book in a what-if scenario. I agree, John. That's definitely how it is. Yeah, I mean, look, I know people are saying in here about them generating I know they generated 2.9 in revenue, but I'd be interested to see how much profit was made. Says John, you can make 2.9 billion and spend 2.8 doing so. That's true, but like Microsoft's $1 trillion company, so I don't, you know what I mean? It's like they got like so much money, it's insane. But I'm sure they made profit. I mean, it's safe to say they're making profits. And if anything, they are immediately making the profit back on what the company cuts losses on for the consoles. You know what I mean? But obviously, we haven't seen anything reported yet. But who cares at the end of the day? Even if it loses money, it's like, as long as we benefit from it, you know what I mean? As long as we can actually sign up for the service and, play it, live it, love it, If you don't like it, then it's all good. But I think a lot of people, I think they have to understand that, like, in 10 to 15, 20 years, we're going to be just streaming games. You know what I mean? I think that's kind of where it's going. And I know people don't want to hear that, and I know that's going to start a whole conversation in the chat. But that's just where it's going. You know what I mean? And eventually the Japanese market will kind of embrace that, and other things will kind of embrace that. I'm not just talking about subscription services. I just mean like in general. You know, like there's going to just be like, you'll just need a little stick. You won't need a console anymore. You know, like I think that's eventually where things are going, and where these services kind of fit in that is just kind of where it is. You know what I mean? Hell yeah, Liquor Sandwich got the RE3 Platinum on the S rank Inferno, was 1 hour 7. There you go, man. Good shit, Liquor Sandwich. That's awesome. So just started playing Horizon 2 yesterday, says Nick. Well, that's cool. I've never finished the first or second Horizon. I've only ever played a little bit of it, but I can't wait for Bayonetta 3. I never played Bayonetta, Alex Receival, but I know they have built-in fan base, so that's kind of it's going to be the hardcores. To piggyback off what you said, just about justifying things in the end, Dewey think is right. It should be all about your fun, nobody else. You want to buy a rip-off remake? Go ahead. I won't. Exactly. That's kind of what it is. It's just like, you know, if you want to play, I mean, that's what I'm saying. That's why it's like, it's not my business what anyone does with their money. You know what I mean? And it's just like, you do what you want, especially because, you know, everyone works hard for their dollars, you know what I mean? And pay bills and go through the day-to-day shit. So it's like, yeah, like I'll vote with my wallet, and you can vote, if someone else can vote with their wallet rather, you know, and if they like it, then I think it's one of those things that they have, you know, they do have a way that they can make these full price things cheaper or just more affordable for their fans if they just put it on a service, you know what I mean? Especially if people are unsure about it. But yeah, it's just like, if I agree with what John said, you know, it's like, if you want to buy a rip-off remake, go ahead. We just won't do it, you know what I mean? As fans of it. And like and that's me just being a longtime fan of Naughty Dog, and it's unfortunate, you know, you got to kind of understand and accept when they pull these like weird business moves, and you're just not going to go into it, you know what I mean? I've never been too much of a fan of Fallout conflicts. I do like it though. Conjira says, just to shift gears, and expectations for Callisto and how it will feel to see Glenn Schofield back. You know, Callisto Protocol, just from the trailers and the gameplay, I'm excited. I'm happy. It seems refreshing. I'm happy to see Glenn back. I love Dead Space, obviously, but this is its own thing. It's not trying to be Dead Space. It's a new IP. It's one of those things where I think, you know, Callisto is going to be a really, really cool experience, and I can't wait to stream it. Also, you like horror films? I would love to see you do videos on horror films, like a top 10 list. Yeah, MILFman, that's what my film channel is going to pretty much turn into, you know. John says, I 100% know what they are, that they're $1 trillion company, but I'm talking specifically from Game Pass to Sony PS Premium. Both companies need to release the profit numbers. I'm still skeptical. I mean, I think it's safe to say that, you know, Game Pass probably generated more revenue, considering they have stuff that's day and date. So I think some of that you'll see that in the final numbers if they put that stuff out. But also, Game Pass has been around for a few years, and Sony's thing has been around since June. So I feel like even if you try to pull numbers from that, John, it would be night and day. It's actually a no-brainer that Microsoft already made more money than Sony's service in June. But overall, we still yet to see the actual net stuff that they got from that. But yeah, you subscribe to both. Do what you got to do. Are you a fan of Hitman games? I do love Hitman, Matt Stewart. Let's see. Yeah, the Hitman games are. I played 1 and 2. I played Bloodline, Absolution. I played, I think, the first remake or the reboot. I played some of that, you know. The only thing that scares me about the games as a service model is the MTX that might follow for both PS Studios and Xbox games that we haven't seen a lot of yet. Yeah, I mean, I think It's always changing and always adapting, so it's very weird. Wes, as far as thoughts on Silent Hill leaks and rumors, I don't even give it any thought because all of it comes out as bullshit. So until I download it on my console, then I'll believe it. Did you see what happened to OW2? Yeah, it's free to play, but it's around $12,000 to get everything in the game, cosmetics or not. Well, that just depends on the game. It's all microtransactions. You know what I mean? We know as consumers, when you buy a game, depending on the developer, that's going to be a thing on all platforms, on all, even EA does it in their NBA games, the gambling system and stuff like that. So it's a shame that people have to make that a fear. You know what I mean? It's even worse when you have to spend 60 plus microtransactions, but no one should have to deal with microtransactions in general. But unfortunately, that's kind of a gamble now, even when you take some games into consideration. So I guess it depends on how well you know the game, and if you think that that's going to be, something that is going to make or break it for you. You know what I mean? Okay, so you mean like if they're just profitable in general? Yeah, I mean, I think that's something they should release. From 2020 to 2022, like first 2 years at this point, because we're approaching that. Who's making dough, and the problem is like a lot of the stuff is like, it's like, because people say they can't get consoles, but it's like, man, they'll have like PlayStation consoles on the Sony Direct for like 5 hours, and no one will buy them. Like, people will buy them, but like, because people that complain about it not selling out, I'm like, or about it selling out, I'm just like, you can get a PS5 so easy. Like, I literally saw Wario tweet like, it's still up 2 hours later, it's still up 3 hours later, it's still up. So it's like, hopefully people can start getting these consoles now once there's actually new shit to play. Because everyone that's gotten, even myself included, everyone that's gotten a PlayStation and an Xbox game have been really playing a bunch of third-party stuff. You know what I mean? And John says, Anthony, it took me 10 minutes to buy my Xbox when I decided to buy one. That's what I'm saying, is I feel like some people, they're not even trying. And so, and again, like the whole money thing is a different story, right? That's just, but again, when you save up the money, like you said, you can just go online, punch it in. Chances are you can spend your money right away because it's there. You know what I mean? But with Callisto coming out, and with like, the gen finally getting started, now's the time to get a console. You know what I mean? And I even think John would say this too. If you didn't have a console the past 2 years, you're not really missing much, because there really wasn't much to miss. But now it's getting to the point where some of the games are coming out and they are going to be beneficial. I think that's good. I think that's a good thing. I've become more desensitized, this is from Kenjira, for horror games because I'm a veteran of the game I'm a veteran of the genre, but my first encounter with Mr. X in Remake gave me anxiety. However, now he doesn't. I just beat him too many times now. Well, yeah, I think they definitely amped up the intensity, with the remakes, and I think it definitely created a lot of memes and a lot of stuff out of that fear, Let's see. Well, Halo, liquor sandwich. But I mean, to that point, I'm not going to say that Halo Infinite doesn't have problems, because it does. But Halo, you don't even need a service to play Halo Infinite. You just download it. You can literally get an Xbox, install Halo, and it's free to play. You don't even need a service. But Halo does have a lot of armor and shit that they never really figured out, and the ranking up shit was so stupid. So that's a whole nother thing. Currently playing Song of Horror on Xbox. That game, fuck, it is scary. I've never played that. I want to check that out though, if that's good. X Theater likes Returnal. So that was worth every penny. Might be an unpopular opinion, but in some way the loot boxes were better than recent monetization, paying $30 for a skin. At least with loot boxes you get stuff for free if you don't want to play. Exactly. Sora thinks Sony's service would be good if they added PS1, PS2, PSP games to their premium tier. They have so many good games, and they're not even trying, it seems. Yeah, they need to get more stuff on there. Take care, John. You have a good one. Hope the cat's fine. And you're right. Yeah, it's like the only thing you really were missing is that frame rate, the frame rate boost. You know what I mean? Obviously, and it ran a lot better, ran a lot smoother than the old consoles. Oh, nice. You're hacking your Wii tonight. Hell yeah, man. Do it. People aren't trying. I get notifications all the time when I get a PS5. I can get a PS5 anytime I want, says Brandon Lewis. I know. It's like there's so many ways to kind of tap into that now. You know what I mean? Where it's like you can easily just get a console, and it's like there's so many links, or they do it through the direct. So, got a PS5 within a month of trying, says Matthew. Yeah, exactly. It's like there's ways to do it. And like I said, you know, I think a lot of the games still coming out on the other consoles, obviously, like, you know, if people couldn't afford it or they were still waiting for it to be available, this fall is the time to do it, you know. The shops are closed down. I'm getting everything digital, so I don't need to switch discs on the Wii library. Yeah, I actually have Perry. Shout out to Perry. He's hacking my GameCube right now. So it's pretty much just going to be like all the games, I can rip them to my library, and I don't got to pull out my RE discs all the time and stuff like that, which is cool, you know, because they're so expensive. Yeah, just to put other stuff on there is going to be cool. Even the 3000 series GPUs are easy to buy now, which is great. Yeah, exactly, Liquor Sandwich. It's crazy, right, to see that contrast between a couple years ago and now. Like, it's kind of nuts to see that. And I think it's one of those things, like, people have to, you know, yeah, you just got to have those links, have the Twitter stuff. You know. It depends on your GameCube model, John. So maybe, I guess one of them would work, but it depends. It depends on the models. It's got to have the something under the serial port or whatever. But if you also hack your Wii, you could put GameCube games on that too. So I guess it depends on how far you wanted to take it. If you want a separate Wii for the Wii stuff and then a GameCube for the GameCube stuff. But yeah, it's something I can always ask him about. Let's see here. Miss anyone's comments here. Yeah, I think with Callisto onward, I think we'll finally start getting these, you know, titles that at least I'm interested in. Yeah, I think like going into I am a GameCube, says X. Going into, you know, 2023, I'm just gonna be just happy to play all the new stuff between Callisto, Dead Space Remake, even RE Village Gold. You know, I'm excited to play just because it's new, and you know it's gonna be coming out, and I think there's gonna be like a whole, you know, a whole thing that is gonna be kind of like shifting when we see the survival horror stuff really come back in full. I mean, it's already been back in full swing, but am I busy tonight? I am tonight. I am going to I'm going to the theater with Callie tonight. We're going to check out this this one movie. I completely blanked out on the name of it. But we're going when she gets back home. But you do need a call partner for Halo 1 campaign to get the achievements. Well, I mean, if it's not tonight, I'm down just to help in general. We'll just try to set up a time. And then even when you come here, you know, I have an Xbox Series S, so you can always, when you're here, you just jump right on the S, sign in, and your shit will be there. So maybe we can even do something like that if it's not tonight. I am going to see, though, Amsterdam, which is a film that, you know, it has like pretty much like a big ass cast. It's got Christian Bale, even Taylor Swift's in it. So, you know, as soon as Callie heard that, she wanted to go see it. But yes, I'm still down. I'm down to play. I'm just down to play Halo with you, man. Absolutely. I'm down to do that. And we can definitely start, working on those achievements. And I don't even think I got a lot of the achievements on Halo. I got some, but maybe we can actually get them together, which would be cool. But yeah, take care, man. I plan to watch that this week, says Quentin. Yeah, I mean, the trailer looked good, and I love Silver Linings Playbook. I love the director. I love the cast. Kenjira says, do you think RE4 Remake will have elements of the demo like we never got, like the Hookman? I know that's kind of been rumbling around, because, you see Leon's jacket. It looks very much like the, RE4 we never got and his aesthetic. And I know the Hookman could have been popping up in those conversations. But it'd be very interesting to see how they did that, because obviously if they did it now, they wouldn't make it supernatural or paranormal, kind of like the vibe that original 3.5 is going for. So I'm curious to see if they made the Hookman now. Would it just be like a nod to the fans, but it would be a real Hookman? It wouldn't be like him coming out of a painting, because the painting was something like, it was like he came out of the painting with the doll heads and stuff in the hallway. So, Dwayne forgot to mention that he wants to watch you went to watch Smile. How was that, Dwayne? Because I heard it was good. The trailers that I always say this on the channel, but I try not to see trailers, you know what I mean? Because they spoil everything. But the ones that I see in front of movies, I can't help it because they're there in front of me. But the trailers looked okay, but how was it personally? I'd like to hear you. Also, by the way, guys, if you want to check out my film channel, here is my film channel in the chat. So you can check that out and subscribe. Check out my new short film, The Shape Kills, and stay tuned for more, content on that channel. Conflakes is super excited for RE4 gameplay to see what the combat's like, and happy that Capcom wrote it back in-house as opposed to M2 developing. Exactly. I think we're all kind of, chilling on that idea. We're not like stressing out. I think if it was the other way around, then we would be more stressed out. Can't wait for the new Halloween movie. What do you think will be the ending? I don't know. Honestly, I really don't know. I know it's out there online, but a lot of spoilers get, like Masai just said, he doesn't watch trailers anymore. I try not to either. Like when you're in a theater, it's impossible. But it's funny, we were watching Pearl, which is a horror movie or thriller, and they pretty much, always stack the horror movies in front of the movie that you're seeing. So as soon as the Halloween Ends thing came on, I literally, like, Callie just covered my eyes and I just plugged my ears, like, because it was like a trailer that was getting more into showing you what the movie was, and I was just like, nope, I'm not going to see this. I only saw the like minute teaser of the camera kind of panning in the house, and then it was like it's coming up. Yeah, there is MILF Ban. That's why I just try to stay away from it. And Dwayne actually enjoyed it. It was good. I'll check it out either when it comes out on VOD, Dwayne, or on a $5 day, because we got them over here too at the Cinemark, the $5 stuff. So, but yeah, man, I mean, again, it's one of those things, like the horror stuff is always hit or miss nowadays, but you do see some good shit. And I think sometimes, and there's a Jimmy, sometimes when I see something that kind of, catches me off guard. Hello. And it's actually pretty good. I'm like, oh wow, this is actually a pretty good, as long as it's not like Jeepers Creepers Reborn, okay? Because I heard really bad things about that. But, that's but I'll be on here for another 8 minutes or so. So any other like last things you want to ask or discussion points, let me know. And I will answer them. Hello, oh, hi, James. Look at him. Thank you. Thank you for the licks. $5 day. I wish we had that in New York City. Oh, yeah. What, you just got AMC's over there, man? second here. Take care, Nick. You have a good one. I love partial effects in my horror movies. Yeah. You definitely don't want it to be too corny. It was twisted, a few jump scares, an interesting ending, but by some of it, I say it was like it oh, okay. It drags a little bit. Okay. Reborn was so bad, says Quentin. It was laughable that they tried to pass it off as if we worked hard on this film. Looks like they shit on paper and called it a script and then used the toilet to film it. No, I heard the CG was fucking terrible, Quentin. I heard it was awful. I really want a Mortal Kombat versus Resident Evil fighting game. Dude, that'd be awesome. That'd be kick-ass. I love Mortal Kombat, too. Peter, what's up, man? It says, how do you think RE4 Remake will start off? First person like an RE3 or a completely new from the perspective of Ashley being kidnapped? You know, maybe it could start off in maybe some kind of first person Ashley running through the woods. You know, something like that. Whether it's first or third person, I feel like Ashley Graham starting off in the woods, seeing her get kidnapped, I feel like that'd be really cool. And it's different. And it's a little different. Thanks for having Dan Berlew on that one time. He was great. Oh, he was awesome. Dan Berlew is such a chill dude. And, you know, that was such a great interview. You know what I mean? That was awesome. And Quentin's a fan of Jeepers Creepers, and he hated that new movie. Yeah. Didn't hear good things. But, yeah, man. I think that'll be good. Sora says, have you played Fatal... Not Jeepers Creepers, but RE4 opening with Ashley. Have you played Fatal Frame? I haven't, Sora. That's something I'd also like to play on the channel. I used to remember back in the day, I used to see them like on reviews and stuff like that, but I never actually played them. Conflict says, what weapon are you looking forward to seeing the most? Psh, Red 9, man. That's the obvious choice, but I'm excited for the Silver Ghost, he says, and Punisher. Dude, I'm excited for the Punisher. I'm excited for, obviously, the Red 9, the Broken Butterfly, the Killer 7, oh, man. The semi-auto rifle, I'm trying to think. Tommy gun, the Thompson, obviously. Let's see. Outcast says, I don't know, man. A Code Veronica remake with Alfred in a dress. He says you don't. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Yeah, I mean, it just depends on if they ever even approach it to begin with, as far as that game, right? But Matthew Webster, what's up, brother? With the $5 super chat says, do you think RE4 will try connecting Las Plagas with the mold in any way, since both originate in Europe? They could do that. I think we already know Nemesis is definitely connecting to the Parasite for sure. So I think that will probably play into it, man. I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna, because some people were saying if they're gonna have like a Miranda spin, or they're gonna show that. I don't think they're gonna get too involved with that. I think that would piss off some fans personally if they kind of connected it that close to the newest one. Maybe they should just focus on Las Plagas and how it kind of stemmed in the village and how it originated. And I think that's going to be, again, a real cool, treat for people to kind of see more into the lore, but also just to see like how it connects to Nemesis and stuff like that. Instead of like, what would not be a treat was them to connect it to Village. I think that would just kind of be a bum out, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion. I think they should keep it separate. Don't connect it to the mold. Let Las Plagas do its thing. The Chicago typewriter, absolutely. That would definitely be one of my favorite things to see return. Liquor Sandwich asks a good question. What's the next game that I'm streaming? Well, I'm actually going to be planning on revisiting Resident Evil 7. So as I kind of went for the platinum stuff for Village, I might try to do Madhouse on Resident Evil 7. I'm not looking forward to it. No, I've never streamed it. No, I'm not good at it. So that is supposed to be the next stream, Liquor Sandwich. Stay tuned for that this week as we approach, the Resident Evil showcase stream that will happen probably on Friday, if that's the date. Hope they nail the gun sound effects. Punisher sounded so good in the OG. I agree. Very fulfilling, especially when you were hitting targets and stuff like that. It was really cool. Kenjiro says, one last comment. If the new RE4 doesn't have the striker and the Ditman glitch, then I won't play it. JK, what the hell's the Ditman glitch? I don't know if I'm familiar with that. Yeah, look at Yimmy, Callie. Look at him. He literally comes out of nowhere just to say hi. He was behind me most of the time. He's like, now I want to stand on the desk. The ending of RE3 always makes me want to watch immediately, or makes me want to immediately play RE4 as much as RE3 Remake disappointed me. This is what Masai says. I can't wait to play that first and then RE4 Remake afterwards. Yeah, man, I know what you mean. Just to kind of play them in sequence. You know what I mean? That'd be really cool. And just to have that connection. It is a concern given how they threw Spencer and RE8, says Matthew. Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm just like, that was kind of shoehorned in. Please don't shoehorn in anything else. Nihilus says, point 50 mag and the laser. You want to see the laser return? Yeah, a lot of people want the laser point return over the reticule. I'm curious how they're going to do that. Conflict says, completely forgot about the Chicago typewriter. Hope they let us upgrade it so it's one-shot kill right away. I want to mow down some Ganados Godfather style. Dude, that Tommy gun was so powerful. And the fact that it already came just like maxed out, you know what I mean? That'd be kind of cool if they make it to where maybe it has ammo and you kind of have to work it up. I don't even know what that means, Nihilist. I don't know what you mean. But yes, guys. So, I think we're gonna be safe with RE4. I'm obviously looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the Resident Evil showcase. So I'm gonna be streaming some RE7 this week, guys. So thank you so much for all the questions, all the super chats today. Really appreciate you guys. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Thunders Productions. Thank you, Nick. Thank you guys for all the super chats. And I really appreciate it. And don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Follow me on all the socials, Discord. Check out the Patreon, YouTube memberships, the merch down below. Kenjiro also says the Ditman glitch is the glitch that makes you run faster. Use the striker to do it. Oh, okay. I don't think I've ever done that, but that's interesting. But yeah, that'd be funny if they found their way back in. But that's just a snapshot of that time. That's so weird. I don't have that as a blocked word, Nihilist. That's kind of weird that they did that. But Desert Eagle in RE4, that'd be dope as well. I'm looking forward to all of it. But yes, guys, stay tuned for RE7. I'm going to be streaming that tomorrow as well as Wednesday and probably Thursday. We'll see how far we get. Thank you so much for the love and support. And by tomorrow, I should have all my streaming stuff set up for gaming and everything converted into OBS. So we should be good to go. So take care, guys.